Hi, welcome back to my channel. As December is coming to a closing, the TikTok ban is getting closer, and TikTok is reacting to the ongoing TikTok ban. This is very interesting, and I look forward to seeing what these videos and reacting with you guys. But first, hi, I'm Allicia, i.e. Allicia J, the walking, talking baby doll, and hopefully I'm here to give you a good day or a better day. Okay. So, regarding the TikTok ban, it seems like there's some hope, but it also seems like there may be some ways that we can keep TikTok, but it's very unlikely. And in this video, they're going to discuss a bunch of legalities and what can we look forward to. Also, places that other platforms that we can possibly go onto. I definitely recommend looking into fan base right now.
Flakes and a lettuce, salmonella and lemonade. Eggs cost $30 bajillion. Sally Mae got a hit on my head. She's asking for my firstborn son because she wants her money back, even though Joe Biden said he's gonna pick up that check. The sidewalks in the Midwest are boneless. Somebody jacked my car up and stole my converter in front of the police, sold it to the police. The police sold it to a shop, and the shop sold it back to me, put it back in my car. I'm still bald headed for some reason. Y'all are worried about this app. Hello? Oh my gosh, they're farming your data. They're trying to protect you from them farming your data. Says the FBI agent that's watching me through my camera right now. Hey, Steven, how's your mom and them? Be for real. Like, it's so insanely American for y'all to be worried about this app when there's so much other things going on. On top of that, how America, it's almost laughable. Like, I could literally laugh and then I could like go into scream crying and and throwing up because y'all are sitting here thinking that America is the center of the world continually, when in reality, this app is used by people across the world. And have you seen European talk? They're hilarious. Nigerian talk, absolutely funny, bro. India talk, stop. Untouchable, bro. And y'all think that these other countries would just be so gung-ho about this app being sold to an American a company? Like, let's be for real. Y'all watch what Elon Musk did with the election on X, formerly known as Twitter, and he's not even American. He's just American at heart. He got that eagle in him. He got that apartheid spirit, something about that colonialism. Just shake him up, get him real going. He had Donald Trump front and center on our timeline for months. Every time I hit not interested, every time I hit see less of this, kept popping up. Not a single Kamala Harris ad on my timeline. That's the country that you want to own this app? Oh my goodness, I'm shaking. I really hope that they don't sell. Okay, January 19th, we gonna kiss, we gonna say goodbye, we gonna throw a little party, we gonna all go on live, whatever the case is, get your last little coin, withdraw your stuff, because we gone. Like, no, I do not want them to sell to an American company. That would be nuts.
Breaking news, TikTok will be banned in the United States on January 19th, so says the federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. The three-judge panel issued their ruling on TikTok's case just moments ago in this 92-page order. The judges ruled the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act does not violate the First Amendment rights of TikTok or its users. The judges said they realize 170 million Americans use the platform every day, and this ruling could take away a place for them to express their free speech and take away, in some cases, their ability to make money. But the court said Congress knew all that and passed the bill anyway. The court wrote, Congress judged it necessary to assume that risk given the grave national security threats it perceived. And because the record reflects that Congress's decision was considered consistent with long-standing regulatory practice and devoid of an institutional aim to suppress particular messages or ideas, we are not in a position to set it aside. That means the ban is going to move forward. So what's next? Well, likely TikTok will file an emergency appeal to the United States Supreme Court. And there are two options there. Either the court can take this case on an emergency basis, or they can choose not to take the case. They are not required to hear it. Now, if the justices choose not to take the case, this ruling will stand and it's over. If the Supreme Court does decide to take the case, then it is possible that they will put the ban on pause while the case plays out. This is literally happening right now, and I'm going to dig further into that 92-page ruling, and I'll have more.
Ooh, the first one was a lot, but I started understanding. I played it back a couple of times to understand what the girl was saying. Yeah, in a very lyrical way. But I honestly don't believe that the Supreme Court will take on this case. I think it's just going to be like a dead end situation, to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of hope in it, and I'm just putting my ducks. You never put your eggs all in the same basket. So get your ducks in a row, people.
You want to know what's even crazier? They gave TikTok till January 19th to sell their platform to a U.S. company. And if they don't sell it, then TikTok will be banned. And you want to know what comes after January 19th? Inauguration day. They said you'll never know peace. They said we get no peace. We get no peace.
TikTok actually has another backup app. It's called Lemon 8, the lemon and the number 8. And it automatically signs you in with your TikTok, so you can still keep the same TikTok name and things like that. And it supposed to transfer your followers over. And it didn't transfer. It says I'm still not following anybody. So I was like, all the people I'm following, which is not that many, must not have that app yet. And when I go to look up their names didn't pop up, like their profile. So, and then I went to their TikTok page, because once you add Lemon8, it automatically pops up on your TikTok bio so that people can just click on it. Just how like Instagram is stuff like that is on people's bios. It's the same way. And so I went to some of my mutuals to see, like, do y'all have it? And I'm just like not seeing it, but no, they don't have it. So just so you guys know, now that they're trying to do this ban, if you want to have somewhere else to go where the government is not 100% controlling what we see, what we consume, and y'all still like the fact that TikTok is more so one of those apps like, yeah, I want to be able to know what's really going on in real time, and I don't want the government controlling exactly what I see all the time. Just go ahead and go into Lemon8. I don't see anything on there about like a creator rewards program where you're going to make some money and stuff like that. Maybe because the platform is still small. Hopefully once it gets bigger, we can still get paid on that app like we've been getting paid on her. But for those of you who don't care about getting paid on there, I mean, there's just another app that you can go to. So yeah, y'all join it.
I know we keep calling it the TikTok ban, but it's not just banning TikTok. It is also banning anything owned by ByteDance, the parent company. That includes CapCut and Lemon8. So switching to Lemon8 isn't doing anything. That app is also going to go.
It's hard out here, and I do love some things about TikTok, some things that I hate, such as the racial things, but it is a very good source, and it sucks that we can't even have entertainment, but I really need CapCut.
I can't spend eternity here. This place reeks. Bots. And tired memes. What is this? Societal decline!
TikTok is getting banned because the US government cannot fathom losing control of its populace. You have to understand, while there have always been social media platforms before in the past, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, there has never been an app that has been able to do what TikTok has achieved in such a short amount of time. There are over 172 million users on this platform, and of those 172 million users, we have seen firsthand how this app can change someone's life, change their financial position, change them mentally, emotionally, and how this app is one of the very few apps that are not censored to the point where you can't find out the truth. And that intimidated the US government, because if you have a group of people that you cannot control and you cannot manipulate, that puts you in a vulnerable position. And the last thing the US government wants to do is be in a vulnerable position. This attack on TikTok is a direct attack on democracy. And some people don't understand it because they look at it as just a social media platform. I'm trying to get you to think bigger. It's not just that this is a social media platform. It's the fact that this is one of the few social media platforms where truth is allowed to live. People aren't upset that TikTok is getting banned because they can't do their generic TikTok dances. People are upset because TikTok is a platform that was changing people's lives in a way that we have never seen before. It was a way for us to connect, a way to get genuine community. In the past, Instagram was a great app. Yeah, you got community, but how much community could you really get? YouTube, it was a great informational app. You got all of these great videos, tutorials, and think pieces, but how was the community? TikTok was the first app of its kind to truly integrate this. And I am so sad that they are taking away this platform, and it makes me worried about what is to come with the other platforms that we choose to navigate to. Because whether we leave TikTok to go to Instagram, or TikTok to go to YouTube, or Facebook, or Snapchat, we're still on another social media platform. And who's to say the US government won't come in and say that one has to go as well?
And those are some pretty thought-provoking ideals and theories, but I honestly don't feel like they're going to do anything really regarding like the other platforms. They may just do a bunch of regulations and stuff on that, which will suck. And I slightly disagree. YouTube does have community to it. I think it's just they are trying to find a new celebrity market. They don't want it to be us. I definitely can't go back to Instagram. It's just too much for me.
So now that TikTok is going to be banned, I need to know what's going to be the new app. Because I'm seeing everyone say, oh, just download your content to Lemon8. I'm not using that app. That app is like another version of Pinterest, and I just don't like it. Then people are saying Instagram. Instagram gives me anxiety. Like, I haven't posted on Instagram since like the 6th grade. I can't use Instagram, I'm so sorry. Like, I would even just have to start fresh on there. And there's honestly no other options other than those two. So I need someone to come up with a new app. We need something else because I'm not liking the options. And when people know, let me know first, because I need to be the first one on there creating content.
I love how the US government's trying to tell us, oh, TikTok's a national security risk. The Chinese have your data. Facebook has my data. Twitter has my data. I don't give a shit. In 10 years, if I'm speaking Mandarin, I don't give a shit. Because let me tell you, the people in China have universal health care. My teacher in high school had his kid in China. It was like $200. In and out, with the car seat and everything. Tech companies are upset that the free market is working and that foreign competition is winning. They don't care about your data, they're tracking you anyways. Selling data is the reality of the future. I'd like to be able to choose who sells my data. And let me just say, the algorithm for Reels is appallingly terrible. Nothing good seems to go in, nothing good seems to come out. I habitually get the most horrifying shit on my Reels day to day. I actually send Reels to my friends to fuck with them, because the general public knows it's a lawless fucking wasteland on that platform.
So definitely comment what platforms you're thinking about going to. I agree with dude. This ain't got nothing to do with like data. It's something more to it, and yeah, it does kind of suck that TikTok is possibly gonna be up out of here. Everybody's emotions are high.
The closer it starts getting to the end of the year, the more I'm starting to realize that we really finna be without TikTok, y'all. Lord. What we finna do without TikTok? And y'all know TikTok really the only social media app that be jumping for real. Like, what we finna do? Lord. And then I be seeing people on TikTok talking about something called Lemonade or Lemonade or whatever it is called. They say it's supposed to be like TikTok or whatever. So I'm like, okay, let me download Lemonade because I'm trying to see what the hype is about. So I downloaded it, and high key, maybe low key, but really like high key, it's kind of like TikTok for real, y'all. So I'm gonna jump on Lemon 8 because I will not be lit like I was to TikTok. I'm finna get on Lemon 8. What you thought this was?
TikTok is fighting back against the ban. In a last-ditch effort this week, TikTok filed a motion with the DC Court of Appeals asking for an emergency temporary injunction. Daria, what's a temporary injunction? It's basically a hold. They're asking for the ban to be paused until the Supreme Court can rule on it. The motion reads, the petitioners, aka TikTok, move for a temporary injunction pending Supreme Court review. Absent such relief, the act will take effect on January 19, 2025, on the eve of the presidential inauguration. Before that happens, the Supreme Court should have an opportunity to decide whether to review this exceptionally important case. And an injunction is especially appropriate because it would give the incoming administration time to determine its position. So they're essentially asking for a timeout, and they're asking for the court to grant this decision by December 16th. If they don't get it, they'll go to the Supreme Court and ask for an emergency ruling there, which would block the law while it's appealed. So the question is, realistically, will TikTok be banned? I went to Yale Law School where I focus in constitutional law. The two main arguments as this goes to the Supreme Court are going to be First Amendment issues versus interest of national security. I'll rapid fire go through the most likely scenarios so you can understand what may happen next. Starting off strong with the first option. It's a possibility the Supreme Court decides not to take this case at all. The Supreme Court gets to vote on all the cases that they take, which is called granting a writ of cert. And it's not a guarantee that they'll want to hear this one. They also don't have to say why they want to take a case or not. It's pretty much up to them. If they decide that this is an important constitutional question, then they might take it. But if they decide because of the way the law was written, they'd rather not get involved, then they don't have to, and it's over for that route. Second scenario, you could take the case, hear oral arguments, and they'll likely issue their opinion in June. During that period, the ban would essentially be paused. But because of the current conservative makeup of the court, there's no telling how they would rule. Third scenario, the DC Appeals Court could grant the delay that TikTok is asking for, at which point DJT becomes president, and he said that he would not support a TikTok ban. Can he actually do this? Maybe. He could tell the stores like Apple and Google Play, we're not going to enforce this TikTok ban. But it's a little tricky because he's not super reliable. Scenario 4, a better alternative. DJT could declare that TikTok is in compliance with the law, which is asking the Chinese company ByteDance to sell to a US company. If he says they're in compliance, then it's technically moot, but still, this leaves the door open for a US company or a competitor of TikTok to come in and sue and say, hey, they're not actually following the law. And the last scenario, scenario number 5, would involve DJT pressuring Congress to repeal the law. Now, this one is a little bit far-fetched, considering the bill had bipartisan support from both the left and the right, Democrats and Republicans. So the future of TikTok is uncertain. It could play out in any of those ways. Either way, TikTok right now is in serious jeopardy, and its owners will be looking to the Supreme Court or DJT to save it.
There will be ways to get around the TikTok ban on January 19th in the US, and I'm going to tell you how. So when you look at how the law was written when it was signed by Joe Biden into effect, the law specifically states that it will be illegal for distribution and you won't be able to access it on your computer browsers. So this means they're going to take TikTok off of the app stores and you won't be able to get on it using Google Chrome or whatever you use on your computer. However, if you have TikTok already installed on all of your devices, they can't just come take your device and force you to delete it. So make sure you update it to the fullest before January 19th and do not delete TikTok from any of the devices that you have because you won't be able to get it back. So they can do everything they can to make it unavailable, but what's already on everybody's devices, that's just fair game. Stay tuned for more tips and let me know in the comments what you all think about it.
TikTok's getting banned. Everyone take a deep breath, because TikTok's not going anywhere. So right now the ban is set to begin in the United States on January 19th, 2025. TikTok has been working multiple solutions for this problem, and that gives them 6 weeks to pick which one of those they're going for. I received this email from TikTok's global head of creators, which you can pause to read, and it shows you what their first step is. They have filed an emergency motion for an injunction to stop the ban until the Supreme Court has had time to hear its appeal. And here's where my personal opinion comes in. I believe the Supreme Court is going to uphold that ban. However, you better believe TikTok has a plan B, C, D, E, and F in place ready to go if that ban does happen. For me, the biggest signal of these other plans are these recent partnerships with the US's biggest retailers, Walmart and Amazon. These major retailers invested and partnered with this social platform for a reason. Will TikTok be sold? Back in April, the owners of TikTok, ByteDance, said that they would not sell because their highest priority was to protect the algorithm. But even with the latest ruling, they have not restated that. So who would buy it if it goes up for sale? Honestly, there aren't many who can afford it. The recent evaluation is at least $100 billion and growing. Anyone have a few extra bucks I could borrow? And if you're not aware, TikTok has 2 other platforms, Lemon8 and Notes, which I could see them easily transforming into a TikTok-style platform if the ban does go through. So if you're a creator, at a minimum, go get your username on those 2 platforms. So what if the worst case scenario does happen and TikTok is gone forever? This is why diversification matters. It's what I drive home over and over again with my clients. There are 5 major social media platforms. You should be on all 5 of them: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. And it's also why you need to have multiple income streams as a content creator. I am a full-time content creator, and currently I have 10 different income streams. So if TikTok does go away forever, I would lose one of them, being paid for views on TikTok. But I did not build my business that solely relies on one platform on whether that business grows or fails. As content creators, we have to diversify our income streams and diversify our platform. And build an email list, because that's always in your control. So no, this is not the end of content creators or influencer jobs, but it might be a big pivot. But if you aren't willing to ride that wave of uncertainty, content creation is not for you, because it is constantly changing. So we have to change our mindset. We are not victims of platform changes. They are new opportunities, chances to try new approaches, to monetize in new ways, and reach whole new audiences. But we can't grow if we don't step outside of our comfort.
Yeah, the internet is always changing, always evolving since, it even started when I was younger. So, if you thought you was going to be doing content creation your whole life, I don't really know why you think that's possible. But definitely you have to keep changing it up, switching it up. Definitely keep the app updated as well. It may work.
There are going to be a lot of people who laugh about the TikTok ban. It's an incredibly bad time to take income away from a lot of people.
Oh, it's more than a lot, and it's more than just influencers and small businesses. I crunched the numbers today. TikTok is actually so large and involved in the economy that when they ban it, every single person in the United States is going to feel its effects. And I know I frequently accidentally end up in the news for a lot of stupid things, but for the love of God, if we could get anything seen by the Supreme Court, let it be what I'm going to say today here. There's about 170 million reoccurring monthly users in the United States here on TikTok alone. And simply referring to just the statistics from the small business portion of that, TikTok contributed $24.2 billion to the United States economy in 2023. $15 billion of that was from advertising and marketing on here alone. And again, simply this portion of it reports 224,000 jobs on here that will be lost, which contributed, again, $5.3 billion in taxes to the US government. This study found 40, but I found some that said up to 50% of these businesses said they wouldn't exist at all without this platform, and the moment it goes away, their business will probably tank. Not to mention the fact that all of these numbers were on par for their growth and expected to double and triple in the coming years. Now that number itself is concerning alone, but that's simply people who report as a small business. Referring back to that 170 million users here in the US every month. Of that large number, based off of the things I've seen in my comment section alone, even from smaller accounts, I'm willing to bet that there are a few million of us that also make money here that aren't reported as small businesses, such as myself. My story is similar to a lot of y'all. You were here when I originally went viral because I quit my horrible job and I was panicked because I didn't know what to do for rent. And then I went viral and realized I could actually rely on this app to make a good $2 to $4K to cover my rent every month. And then beyond that, I was able to use this platform to get my dream job working and reporting actual news sometimes. I got the opportunity to travel the country and do what I love, all because of right here, and now that's all being stripped away from me again, and I'm really worried like the rest of you all are. Like, I'm also worried and don't know what to do. Cough, cough. Sorry, I ran out of red pens. This is a graph of our current national unemployment rate. And yes, I lost faith a long time ago, so it's no shock to me that they pretend to care about the well-being of people whilst also doing something entirely avoidable that will willingly add a couple million people to this number up here. Because at the end of the day, they just gamble with people in these statistics as if we're the stocks that they also trade behind the scenes. The Supreme Court doesn't at least even pretend to pick up and look at this case. We're done. Like, I'm done. That's it. I'm going into my villain arc. This is going to be my villain era.
Joe Biden can honestly stop all of this shit if he really wanted to. So y'all, let's get into it. The TikTok ban. So on Monday, TikTok put in a bid with the U.S. Appeals Court to uphold the ban on January 19th because they want to file, with the U.S. Supreme Court. Last night, the Department of Justice went and also asked the U.S. Appeals Court to deny the bid that TikTok put in to keep the January 19th date and not allow TikTok any more time. So this is where Joe Biden comes in. So Joe Biden can technically sign a 90-day extension, which would push the January 19th date out, also allowing for Donald Trump to take presidency, who was also stating that he does not want TikTok to be banned. Trump tried to ban TikTok, but was unsuccessful. I was watching one of the spectators, and they were pretty much saying that they feel like that Donald Trump is going to get into office, and he's pretty much going to stop the TikTok ban no matter what. All the United States is really asking TikTok to do is to break away from ByteDance, which again is their parent company, and to pretty much come over here to Meta. They want to run it. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. But they're saying that Donald Trump is going to say that TikTok broke away from ByteDance, whether they do or do not. Again, those are just speculations. I think it's possible.
What's really wild is if TikTok does end up getting banned, there's going to be a bunch of people who are like huge, like have huge audiences, and we will never hear from them again. We'll just never hear from them ever again. I'm going to sound so old, but I remember Vine. There were people who were huge on Vine, and you just never heard from them again because they could thrive on Vine. They couldn't thrive anywhere else. And this is not shade. This is just facts. And I think what a lot of people fail to recognize is the algorithm is what has put a lot of people on. Not talent, not anything special. Like the algorithm has really boosted them. And that's something we've never had on a social media platform before. Think about it. You watch one video about a person or a topic or a story or whatever, and then the algorithm just pushes you that thing over and over and over and over again. Then you discover all these new people. It's incredible. It's very powerful. And it is exactly why this ban is really asking for the sale of TikTok, because any American company that has that algorithm is going to be powerful and rich as fuck. The point being, if this app goes away and the algorithm goes away, the ability to be discovered on social media is going to be as hard as it once was, which is hard. It's really fucking hard to break out. You're not just gonna be able to jump on what everybody is talking about or what everybody's doing and get carried by the algorithm, because no other app has that. And so when I say a lot of people are just gonna go away, a lot of people are gonna realize that what works on this app doesn't really work on the other apps.
I'm going to tell you all of the things your favorite creators aren't telling you about the TikTok ban, because we don't gatekeep here. Much like everyone else, for the past 48 hours, I've been completely panicking about the impending TikTok ban, or alleged TikTok ban. I have noticed that a lot of bigger creators don't really seem to be panicking or kind of making a joke out of it. I didn't understand this until today, after I had some conversations with various people that I'm not going to name that are in the industry. I am by no means a big creator. I would consider myself a very small creator in the grand scheme of things. But after those conversations that I've had today with various different sources, I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that your creators that you follow are probably thinking and talking about and having conversations about. You just don't know them yet because they're more private, closed-door conversations. For legal purposes, as a disclaimer, I need to just say that everything that I say in this video is alleged. I cannot prove it. It is mostly opinion, and I have no way to verify this information, and I'm in no way telling you that this is proven information. Now that we've got that out of the way. Number one of conversation. The word around town is that venture capitalists will buy TikTok, American venture capitalists. It is something I've heard from multiple people from various different sources, that behind the scenes, there is some type of potential purchase going on. People have been moving on it for a while. Again, I can't verify this information, but it seems like a lot of people in the industry believe this to be true. I think a big reason why you might see a lot of creators not full-blown panic mode and they're still posting on TikTok, etc. Number two is that a lot of creators have been preparing for this potential but unlikely outcome in their eyes for many months now. As soon as the TikTok ban started getting talked about, people have been encouraged by their management teams, by the agencies they work with, allegedly, to start backing up their content. Now, you don't have to be a big creator to do this. You can go and download your TikTok data. Let me know if you guys want a tutorial on this, and it will give you a file where you can put the links, the URLs of those files that it gives you into your browser and download all of your videos without a watermark. Should be doing. If you are serious about continuing content creation in the very, I think at this point, rare scenario that TikTok actually goes away for Americans, then you should be backing up your data so that you can cross-post it on different platforms. This was also something that I learned that I should have done when my account got banned originally. Point number three is a little bit more broad and has a few more points in it, and I'm going to call this one diversification. A lot of content creators that are bigger have already been diversifying their content and post across platforms. This is also a lesson that I learned during my entire TikTok ban process, is that realistically, you cannot count on one social media platform to sustain you forever if you are serious about being a content creator. Not everybody is serious about that, and that's totally fine. Nobody's saying that you have to post across platforms, but pretty much every serious content creator does have multiple social media platforms that they're posting on, because your account getting banned is a real risk. Aside from a TikTok ban, it happened to me, it can happen to anybody. So if you're a full-time content creator, what are you going to do if your account gets banned, which is a very real possibility, and it happens every single day. To kind of piggyback off that point of other social media platforms being important. There are many social media platforms that are reaching out to creators right now, and have been actually. I can personally say I've experienced this. I'm not going to name the platform, but I have had social media platforms reach out to me and ask to pay me to post on their platform, talk about long-term collaborations to consistently post on their platform. This is already established social media platforms and new social media platforms. Creators know is that the social media space is always changing, and this has really opened my eyes to how the industry is always evolving, and we have to keep an open mind. And just look at what happened with Musical.ly. I think that's how you pronounced it. It became TikTok. So TikTok hasn't always been here. It's probably not always going to be here. That was a huge wake-up call for me today, and we need to get used to that idea that we might have to be more open-minded to newer social media apps coming in. And actually, for small creators, this is a really great opportunity. When you have a newer social media platform that can really benefit off of one other social media platform potentially being at risk of being banned, as a smaller creator, you have more opportunity for growth. Yes, there are downsides to this, like losing community, but I really genuinely now believe that we don't have to lose community as long as we stay in touch with each other, all in the situation that TikTok actually gets banned. The last and most important point that really resonated with me today is a pretty big creator told me, have more trust in your audience. And that really hit home for me. I've been so worried about losing my community, about not being able to find you guys on other apps. But I have to remember, this literally just happened to me. I just lost my community when my account got banned. And literally within 3 days, I got 50,000 followers on a new account by just putting myself out there. I can't believe that I forgot this. I mean, it's not like I forgot it, but I didn't really connect the dots, and it was a really big epiphany for me. And I'm gonna say it to you guys. Trust the community. We will find each other. We have to trust that we will find each other and that we will support each other no matter where we end up. Community follows you. Community is forever, regardless of what platform you're on. Look at how many people have already rallied together and followed each other on Instagram, and just post your socials. Make it very outward and apparent of where you're going and share that with your community. And we and myself, and I know others, are making an effort to make sure we have a backup plan. Basically what I'm trying to say is it's gonna be okay. Literally just earlier today, I was basically having a full-blown panic attack about this entire ban. I really don't think it's going to happen, because I do think that there's just too much money in this app, and there is too much money in the American market of this app. Yes, American users aren't the majority, but the ad revenue that we generate is. If Americans are banned on TikTok, it will literally change the entire landscape of TikTok's ability to monetize. Through brand partnerships, through sponsorships, brands are going to lose interest in advertising on this platform. And the owners and ByteDance know that. Just why they're fighting this so hard. I could be totally wrong, but I do think there's something to be said that when you have major big players in the industry saying that behind the scenes, like, this is what the talk is that's going on, I think we just got to have a little faith. There's gonna be another app that's made, just like TikTok was made, and we didn't know it existed until it did. And now look at us. Now look at this community we've built. And there are some pretty amazing apps in development right now. I'm gonna tag one that I'm really excited about. Check it out. They're gonna start beta testing soon, but I think that we can use this opportunity to look towards the future, reflect on all of the potential that social media has and what we've learned from our experience through TikTok, and how we can make it better, how we can stand up for ourselves. As I'm sure a lot of Americans that are watching this video agree, I am really done with the government telling me who, where, what I can talk about and post when. What about freedom of speech? That wake-up call is important, and now we need to act on it. We're gonna be okay, you guys.
Left pocket full of pink fizzies, right pocket got blues. Lord send them packs to me, I know what to do with it. $1,000 shoe, I'm walking on a damn ounce.
All right, finishing strong. So I created this video because I had the idea of, like, well, what am I going to even do after, you know, the ban? Like, what am I going to do? And it's kind of late to be thinking about it, but it's a little bit of time to just move things around. And I kind of know what I want to do with my dad and stuff like that. So I thought I'd make a clip like this to help people decide what do they want to do. Think about it. Get get the action plan going. Is also some hope in this, some optimism, but I'm not going to put too much on it. I think it's ridiculous that instead of worrying about the well-being of people, it's never been about that, right? It's always been about the money and working us to the bone, and consumerism and capitalism. That's really all it is when it comes to the well-being of the country. Nothing else. Not the children, not the women, and not other people who have a bunch of intersectionalities. That's never been important in this country. But a social media app that is pretty useful, put some money in your pocket, even if it's a little bit, and can also get you some type of notoriety status and maybe move up the ladder a little bit, as well as it just tells you news and things that are happening in real time. People having real discussions. I forgot what creator I watched. It might have been YV Edit who said, like, it's very funny how women all over the world are coming together and sharing our stories more than ever about the reality of marriage and all these kind of things, and now they want to get rid of the app. Very ironic. And this is the same for, I'm sure, other topics that they just don't want us to talk about. So definitely comment, like, subscribe, share your thoughts, tell me how you feel. Which video did you like? Give me a timestamp if you want to, so I know which one you like the most. And yeah, I guess that's gonna sum this up, you guys. See you on the next one.